All right, and I think we're live. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay. We are live with you today with an awesome show for you guys. We are talking Luna 2.0, the pros, the cons, and much, much more. We have a special guest for you today for our first live video. I'd like to welcome Captain Hodl Baggins from the Pulse of Vides. Links down below. As always, welcome to Blockchain Trends.
Sorry about that. Sweet. I like that intro. Dope.
All right, and we're back from the intro. Before I start the show today, I'd like to thank Captain Hodl Baggins for coming on the show today. Thank you, Captain Hodl. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. With the Pulse Abides Network, and it's an honor to be here today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So you'll definitely want to stick around till the end of the show because we actually have a token and money giveaway sponsored by our favorite ghost trader. More on that later, though. In case you've been living under a rock, Luna has crashed over 99% since May 12th due to a large UST and Luna dump by institutional investors, causing the Luna price to go into a minting death spiral to try and regain UST's peg. Luna powered the UST stablecoin by minting tokens that reflected and burned UST. If UST went over the peg and burned, the UST minted. In this way, it kept perfect algorithmic harmony. Despite the death spiral, the team tried to save UST by breaking into the reserves and liquidating over 80,000 Bitcoin to try to keep that peg. Eventually, the validators finally decided to pause the minting on Luna, saving the price of Luna through UST and kept falling further away from its peg, causing the entire Terra ecosystem to collapse. Baggins, what's your thought on all of this?
Well, I can't say that there weren't warning signs, but at the same time, it's the whole market's a gamble. The whole market's a risk. I don't think anybody really was prepared or had advanced notice of just how devastating it would be. But I think it's a wake up call. If anything else.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people just invest in stablecoins. They have no idea what backs it. They just know that the team promises to back the stablecoin and that it will be worth $1 every time. And this wasn't any, Joe Schmo stablecoin. This was like a top 10 stablecoin that we're talking about.
Yeah.
This isn't small. This isn't small. We're talking billions of dollars lost because of this crash. It was awful. I mean, there were just mass, like, pretty much like internet riots, and like there were even unfortunately suicides because of this crash. It was totally awful. Absolutely devastating to all of the holders of Luna, and I feel deeply sorry for those people. This whole situation has just been such a bad look for the entire Terraform Labs team, and Do Kwon especially.
Yeah, I think the whole entire asset class, I think it's a mark on the entire crypto space, and especially for the outsiders looking in, people that would onboard are probably more standoffish now, unfortunately, because of this. And it's not because of the nature of crypto. It's really because of just poor decision making, and somebody getting rope doped.
Oh yeah, definitely, poor management on this part. Really, this has just been a pivotal moment on the state behind the stablecoins, as discussed before. It's a top 10 coin, billions lost. billions of dollars with a B, right? Just people have poured their life savings. People have invested like for college funds, for whatever they wanted to invest for, their life savings. Everything they had was in this token, and it was all wiped off the face of the earth in 2 days. Imagine having your life savings be gone in 2 days. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's a blink of an eye.
Absolutely nuts.
That's you leaving on the weekend, coming back to nothing, coming back to an empty house. I mean, it's that's life altering. But I think that's I mean, clearly this is exactly what we talk about when we say do not invest more than you're willing to lose or than you're able to lose. Situations like this at any moment could happen, and like you said, this is a top tier crypto. This wasn't a poo coin. This wasn't a rug pull either. This was a legit project that was successful, that had massive amounts of capital, and just gone, gone. Nobody
It's
prepared.
gone. Especially from a layer one solution. Imagine if Ethereum had this type of setup and just crashed off the face of the earth like that. I mean, the entire crypto space would be in jeopardy,
Oh yeah.
right?
Well, this
And
is
I
this is the
think,
other thing I was saying about like Tether. Some of these things are just ticking time bombs.
oh, 100%. I mean, nobody knows what's actually backing Tether, whether they have the cash on hand or what, right? So you if you're holding Tether, you could be in the same situation. Could just be gone on without any notice, right? Because
Yeah.
if they don't have the liquid capital to back up every single stable coin, then you can't support it. You can't officially support it, especially in the event of a large sale by institutional investors. It's absolutely unacceptable, especially from a company that claims to have the best stablecoin and the best stablecoin ecosystem at that, with all of their DApp functionalities on this
Yeah.
layer one, right? This is
And
just really bad for a layer one. Absolutely.
but if we look at legacy finance, you know, similar to that, because of fractional reserve banking, if there is a run on the bank, right, there's going to be a disaster. 99 people are not going to get their certificate. They're not going to get their fulfillment. So it's kind of ironic that some of these are that they're called stable coins when it's backed by a fiat currency that by the nature of it is not stable. So I think this is also an important lesson to notate that if you don't understand what you're investing in, if you don't understand the project or the team behind it, then you probably shouldn't be putting your hard-earned money there. You probably shouldn't be putting your resources into things that you don't truly understand. And it's okay to wait. It's okay to do some research. It's okay to do some background checks, on people. You wouldn't go and give your money and access to your bank to a stranger on the street. So, but why do we do this in crypto? It's like we FOMO into these projects. We see something pumping, and you know, people just the fear of missing out. They just throw money at it. Want to either greed or ignorance or whatever else. I just think it's sad in some cases, but in other cases, it's like you're paying tuition. I hope you learned a good lesson there. I hope it was worth it. Unfortunately, a lot of these people they got caught um, in the middle of something that it could have been avoided with, with some better decision making by the people in charge of it. But like I said, if it's called a stable coin, what makes it so stable?
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it is. Back to what you said at first. It's funny that we call fiat stable, but in fact, it's not. It's the prices are variable. That's the funny part. So you don't see the volatility of fiat until all the value of at the grocery store goes up, the value of cars go up. And of course that depends on the market for those items and stuff like that, and oil. But on average, the value of the dollar has been going down, right? So even if
Yeah,
you invest in a stable coin, if even if it's backed by fiat, the value still goes down over time because the U.S. Mint keeps printing the fiat dollars to supplement the deficit,
Yeah.
which unfortunately happens to be the world reserve currency. So,
I think that's missed on a lot of people,
oh yeah, one hundred
but that's
percent,
a
and
that's a big deal.
yeah, especially in DeFi, right? Everybody likes DeFi because it's anonymous. You have great privacy. You don't have to necessarily show your face, right? But in this space, it's important that the people behind these projects at least KYC, right? Know your
Yeah.
customer,
I'm
right?
not going
Because
anywhere near a project where the team is anonymous, the developers, nobody knows who they are. That's a should be an immediate red flag. But look, even in situations like this, right? So, Do Kwon's front and center there. You got projects like Pulse Chain and Hex, where you got Richard Hart. He's out there daily. You know, that's great, and I think that's should be a requirement for anything that people are looking to put their resources in or put their trust in. But at the same time, trust but verify. Just because they're out there doesn't mean they're infallible. Doesn't mean that they're always going to make the right decisions. Now, there are those people that tend to be more on the mark than others, and then there are those that you know they're they got a good track record until they don't, and then it's that one decision that just devastates everything. I mean, this is a gamble. Look, this asset class, any investment class, is nothing more than just they are vehicles to move money and wealth from impatient people to patient people. It's a risk, and I think Richard Hart said it best when he said, "Time in the market will do you better than trying to time the market, timing of the market." Because you just don't know what's going to happen. But we can look historically on what the long run more likely will play out to be, and then we can look at the character of the teams that build these projects, and then have a better chance at making wiser decisions with our investments.
right, exactly. I mean, it's very important that we hold these people accountable, right? I mean,
Exactly.
like you have to expect a KYC from a team, right? Even if they want to be anonymous, no matter what their reasoning is, right? You have to hold these people accountable because you don't have regulation on your side. That's one of the benefits of regulation is because they take care of that stuff for you. In a
Hmm.
decentralized market, we're the ones that have to hold everybody else responsible for their actions, right? We have to vote with our wallets. We have to vote on the DAOs. We have to make sure that these people, if they do something wrong, that they face the consequences, right? Until
Hmm.
there is government regulation, because at least in the financial markets, you have some sort of regulation. Here in crypto, we don't have a lot, right?
Yeah.
So
No.
this
Yeah. It's
real
still kind of the wild, wild west with it, you know.
absolutely. So
But I.
yeah, so it's important that you dollar cost average into large crypto assets like I'm talking Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, well established projects that have been around for a long time that tomorrow it isn't going to go away. And one of the big things with Luna was we thought that was a project that you could hold your money in and not have to worry about because it was such a big project. But we've learned that that's not the case anymore, right? Despite how many billions of dollars in the market cap, even that can go to zero, depending on a flaw in the contract, whether it was a deal gone wrong or not. That's all speculation. You can find that in the link below. We did a Luna video on all the conspiracy theories behind Do Kwon and why we think it crashed. So you can check that out in the link below. But yeah, it's such the wild west, and it's such a volatile asset class. Absolutely.
Now the thing, the here's a duality here when you have volatility in the market. See, volatility is that's where you make your money, right? So it's the saying, the risk reward to it, right? But there's less risk with more information, but you can still have the reward, and not get caught with your pants down or not end up losing everything. But I think that one of the things that we're going to see here really soon is the situations like this, right? So this is a prime scenario for regulation through by enforcement or just by the scare tactics that regulating bodies can use, like the SEC can use to, um, you know, I guess persuade legislators to, give them a little bit more power or a little bit more governance over this asset class, which really should be the people's asset class. This is our chance to do it right, to take back our ability to be in control of our money and our property and our finance. But situations like this are just all the more reason for government to come in and say, look, you guys, you don't know how to take care of yourself. You don't know how to feed yourself. You don't know how to clothe yourself. You're gonna have to have a nanny. We're gonna have to do this for you. So, like with the SEC case right now with Ripple, I think one thing that's going to come out of that is going to be clarity, and let's just hope that it doesn't that the right type of regulation comes through with that, and not the controlling, strangulating type of regulation that will prevent us from moving forward and innovating and being the leader of the world when it comes to things like this digital finance, financial technology, blockchain, smart contracts. But back to what you said a bit when you were mentioning that um, we don't really know behind closed doors what's happened. This is really like the first kind of example of something like this playing out in front of us, and we really need to take this opportunity um, to do to go the right way with it. We're either going to go left or we're going to go right, and if we don't make the right decisions moving forward, and this happens again, it's going to it's an exponential disaster. I mean, who's going to look at this and say these people are responsible? They know what they're doing. This is where I'm going to put my investment. This is now a safer storage of wealth, right? To hedge for my future. It's not going to happen. We're going to lose more people. We're going to get more regulations. It's going to be an absolute disaster. It's going to be exactly what legacy finance and regulation wants. This is what they want to see happen. And whatever you think about the conspiracy or all of that, things like this are are never let a bad situation go to waste in a situation like this for certain organizations, certain people, right? Certain mindsets. So I think the only time we saw something similar to this was what happened with Ethereum, right? So when Ethereum forked, right, and the code is law kind of thing, that kind of went out the window with that. I mean, look at what's going on now. I mean, this had nothing to do necessarily with code, but it had to do with poor decision making. But at the same time, if we look at it, this was a algorithmic stablecoin situation. I mean, is that really what we want to be doing now? Is this a thing we want to continue to do? And I think that's a discussion we need to have. And not so much pointing blame or fingers, but looking at the situation and saying, okay, this is what happened. We know what not to do. Let's try to move forward, with progress, with success, and try to be supportive of those that have suffered from it. But at the same time, be very careful about, 2.0s happening again. And I'm not saying that specifically about what they're doing now, but basically a repeat of situations like this. We can prevent it. We know what to look for. We need to start doing more homework.
Absolutely, and honestly, if these companies keep messing up like this and losing billions of dollars, you know the government has already commented on this, saying yes, we do need stronger regulation on stablecoins specifically because of these weaknesses in these stablecoins. Right? I mean, these attackers easily went in and sold off a lot of capital, and that led to the destruction of a stablecoin. So clearly, there needs to be some sort of regulation, or we need to keep these people accountable, or the government will do it for us.
Mm. That's what we don't
Exactly,
want.
and that's what we don't want. We want to be able to control our own finance ourselves and be able to govern ourselves. And that's the whole reason DeFi is a thing. That's the whole shtick, is being able to do your finance decentralized without any central figure.
Exactly. Right. And also with this kind of financial technology in this asset class, we can prevent things like inflation and deflation, which are not organic to a healthy monetary system. To a fiat currency, yes, a debt system, yes, that's what happens over there. But we clearly see the dangers of that and how bad that is for society as a whole. So I think a lot of problems that we have in society, and I'm not trying to get off topic, but a lot of problems we have in society, they stem from financial problems, right? Financially rooted issues, right? And if we could solve the main root issue, I think a lot of the other issues would subside, would not be so much of issues. So this is more than just blockchain technology. This is more than just cryptocurrency. This is more than just get rich, put in, some money, $100 into a Dogecoin, a meme coin, and get rich. This is so much more than that. And it's kind of sad to see that is the focus. Like, look at what's happening with NFTs. You know, there's so much more. NFT is so much more than JPEGs. Like in the future, everything's going to be an NFT. Your medical records, your police records, your real estate, your auto, everything is going to be. But we need to make sure that it's us controlling that it is us in charge of this technology, because we will lose it if we continue to allow these kinds of events to happen and not holding people responsible. Like you said, it's very important we hold them accountable and we hold them responsible. Because at the end of the day, it is us that either will allow this to continue and then just give it over, tacitly acquiesce to, Big Brother, because he's able to take care of us and we can't take care of ourselves, or we can show and prove like, hey, look, we don't need you guys anymore. You guys have been screwing up for so long. You have made our lives miserable. We're always bailing you out. You're failing constantly. Why do we want to allow that kind of a system to occur over here on this side? We don't want to see continuous failures in a place where if we need to finish what Satoshi started, right? This is very serious. This is like you said, a pivotal point in human history that we need to get right. And it's sad to see things like this happen, but at the same time, I'm glad it's happening now in the beginning stages, and we can flesh out these kinds of things, and be more responsible. I think it's very, very important that what's happened with this is more than just billions of dollars being lost. Lives are being lost. Lives are being destroyed. Futures are being hindered because of situations like this. So I think I'm appreciative of you having me on today, and I think these kinds of conversations need to happen more, and they need to be more serious about what the implications are, and not so much the value of, whatever this is. How much dollars can I get? X amount of dollars. Because at the end of the day, if that's what you're doing it to eventually switch it back into a fiat currency, you're kind of missing the point.
Yeah, I think you hit the head right on the nail. We need to use this as an example to hold the founder and the employees at Terra Luna accountable. You have to make sure that we see justice for this. We need to make sure everybody's fairly compensated, and that these people are uh, treated and seek justice for those who've lost all of that money in Terra Luna. So now we're gonna move to the vote, right? So after the crash, there was a series of proposals, and the one that was actually instated was number 1623. I'm gonna pull that up right for you guys, so you can see. This is the revival plan. This is where they decided to do a Genesis blockchain instead of uh, burning the Luna supply and trying to fix the UST peg. And this is what the validators voted on. I'll put the link in the description below of this so you guys can read it. The messed up part about this was somewhere in here it says, like, disclaimer, this will be a living document, right? So Do Kwon continued to change this document over and over and over again as the vote was going on. Right, so people didn't really have a fair read through and to make sure that they knew what they were voting about and for, right? And all of the things that they said, okay, great, this looks great, and then 10 minutes later it's changed. Like that's ridiculous. How can you change a document over and over and over again and expect people to make an informed decision to vote on it? You can't do that. You can't continue to change the document over and over and over again on a live vote. You can't do it. You got to make sure it's all lined out so that people know. Otherwise, it's not a fair vote at all. People might have said yes to something in there before and then they changed it all around. It's ridiculous. I mean, that pissed me off. I was reading through today and I just learned that the document was changing every 10 minutes.
It's a definition of a bait and switch right there.
Yeah, honestly, it is the definition of bait and switch. And I think Do Kwon deserves every lawsuit that's come at him because this is absolutely ridiculous. This is not fair at all.
I don't see why. Okay, if somebody's gonna if you hire somebody to do a job on your car to fix your car, and they totally blow it, and they ruin it, and now your vehicle, you can't drive it anymore. Are you gonna hire them again to work on your other car? I just don't see the point in that. Now I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just posing questions and making them think. I want you to think about this. I want you to ask yourself these questions. Do what you will. That's your choice. You're free to do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, understand your decisions don't just affect you, right? It rolls downhill. It stacks up. It adds up. And if your indecisions as well also affect everybody else too. So it's not just one person. It's not just us individually making these choices. It's numbers do wonders. It's going to take us as a team, as a people, as a group, to prevent these things from happening again. To prevent these people who made poor decisions from making more poor decisions with more money, with more people's investments and wealth. Now, I'm not saying, that the guy's a failure. I'm not saying that the team is a failure. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that we need to think before we act, or before we just go ahead and throw money back into something. Like if your mechanic screwed up the first time, maybe get a second opinion. If your doctor prescribes you bad pills, you might want to go and get another opinion, right? Like, this is what we do with everything else in life. Why do we not apply it into something so important? I don't understand.
Exactly,
To me, it
especially
seems
when
simple.
billions of dollars are on the line. This isn't anything small. This is billions of dollars. This is millions of people's money on the line. Then this revival plan is the best that they can come up with. I wasn't very impressed at all by this plan. It doesn't meet the needs
Seems
of the
very
UST
hasty.
holders. It doesn't meet the needs of the Luna holders pre-launch, and we'll get to that later in the live video. But it's awful. It's just the response from the team. They were professional about the document, but they just kept changing it, and that's what really aggravated me. So now we're going to look at the proposal details, and this was it. So basically, if you were a validator, if you were a staker, you had the opportunity to vote on this proposal. So we had 65% yeses, right? So the validators have the majority of the poll in a DAO because they own a lot of Luna. They just stake it all in a pool and they just hold it there, and that's how they validate the transactions, and they get rewards for that. So they get the most pull, and then you have your long-term stakers, right? So 65% said yes, 20% abstained, and less than a percent said no. And then no with veto, saying, okay, well, we want to change the plan.
Yeah. Yeah. So
right?
what version were these people voting? Making those decisions, right?
Yeah, so it wasn't necessarily an accurate accurate representation of the community. It's just saying, okay, the people who own the most Luna, this is what they thought. This is like the validators and the stakers, right? But honestly, I saw a lot of the community wanting to just save the original Luna, wanting them to burn the supply of Luna to reinstate the peg, finding some way to find that collateral to get everybody's money back. And of course, no solution is going to refund even remotely what they lost, no matter what they do. So the best thing that could have happened was them to revive the original token, so that everybody could have even a resemblance of what they had before the whole institution investors totally screwed the whole ecosystem up.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I think that was kind of that's what was pushed out in the beginning was the massive burn of the tokens, which to me kind of made the most sense. Like it still seemed pretty hasty of a decision, to try to like put a band-aid on a gaping wound. But it was better than nothing, and it was at least an attempt, to try to salvage something for somebody out there. But at the same time, um, you know, this is why it's important to understand what you are putting your investments in, what you are putting your trust into. If you don't understand how the tokenomics works, if you don't understand what's behind it, or the decisions being made behind it, just hold on for a minute. Figure something out before you just jump into it. Is it an inch deep? Is it 6 feet deep? Can you even know how to swim? These are things that you don't walk around in life making just hasty decisions or not paying attention to where you're walking. You don't walk around blind. So when it comes to finance, you know, the same rules apply.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, a lot of people fell victim to Luna because they saw a very low price and they like, oh sweet, I can grab it at this price, I can grab it at this low price, and the price kept going down and down and down. They didn't realize that Luna kept minting and minting and minting. I mean,
Right.
the total supply of a token isn't exactly an easy thing to find if you're not looking for it, right? So if you just see,
Or if you
you
don't know
just think
how.
as a
Yeah.
trader, right? If you think it's just thinking as a trader, okay, I buy low and I sell high, right? And that's your thought process, right? And especially for a top 20 token to just uncontrollably mint into the ground for traders is just unheard of.
Yeah, it was like a trap, for ignorant people, for financial financially illiterate people, those that don't understand how the tokenomics operates, because it was like, hey, come over here, this is looking really good. I mean, the price was getting to a point where I was looking at it, I was like, oh man, if this goes down to $1, I might go ahead and just back the truck up. But when you take just a surface level look and you understand what's happening, why is that price going down? And is it something that's going to prevent it from going back up? Or is this something where it's like there's fear in the market? And when there's fear in the market, maybe it's okay to be a little greedy. And when there's greed in the market, you'd probably want to be a little bit more fearful. So, understanding what is causing this the situations, what is causing the pump, what is causing the pullback, because that's going to be your indicator to let you know, okay, is this a situation where I want to buy, or is this a situation where I want to, get away from, just exit out now to prevent further losses. These kinds of things people need to understand. Like I say, have an exit strategy before you even get in. Have a place, I'm getting out here. This is my goal before you even get into something. Otherwise, it's pure emotion.
Exactly. I mean, that's what candles are. They're pure emotion. They're the study of emotion in markets, right? When you trade. But I think the key takeaway from the people trying to capitalize on Luna's downfall is to make sure you read that white paper before you invest in anything. Make sure you know the tokenomics. I mean, I can't fault anybody for throwing in, $20 and seeing where it goes, but like if you were to make like $1,000 execution, right? Not knowing the tokenomics, like that's a big that's a big hit to your portfolio. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And not to even to mention
especially
all
if
the
that's
people
most of
buying to
your
try to
what you
save it,
got.
right? Like people were buying and trying to save it, trying to pop the price up, right? People just keep getting wrecked and wrecked and wrecked and wrecked, and there was like no end in sight. It went over 99% down and then 99% down again. I mean, I think it went
I
down to what, 5 zeros and a one
It
at
was
its
crazy.
lowest point.
Yeah, it was a. I don't think anybody saw the bottom that coming that deep down. I don't think anybody saw that happening. It was this has never happened before in crypto. Hopefully, it never happens again. But it is it's a good example. It's definitely one for the history books. Like this is going to be one of those things we talk about. Like, do you remember when the Zeppelin, caught fire? Do you remember when they landed on the moon? Do you remember, like these kinds of things that happen in history? We'll talk about, we'll reflect on, we'll look at, and we'll examine them, and we'll say either that was a triumph of humanity, or that was one of mankind's worst social failures. And I hope that this was just like, a one time, a one off thing. Unfortunately, I don't think that it is. And that's what scares me the most, is because things like this, when they happen again, they don't happen at the same level. They happen almost like an exponential increase. Like it gets worse. It doesn't get better. It doesn't happen half as bad as it did last time. No, it happens twice as bad as it did last time. And that's with almost anything, especially in you know legacy finance. And legacy finance has got their fangs sharpened, and they're ready to dig in on crypto, to dig in on your pocket. Prevents you from being able to hedge your future. So do your homework, people. Please let this be a wake up call.
Right? It's necessary, and I hope people at least have taken the lesson to just not ape in something and not do your research, not ask the team like what's up. Like go at least do your due diligence when you invest in crypto, because it's a lot more important than in the traditional markets where it's all regulated. That's just
Mm-hmm.
one of the downfalls of DeFi, right? We have to make sure that we hold people accountable. That's all. That's what it's all about. And hopefully, a lot of people have been educated that it is important to read white papers and do their homework and educate themselves. And
Yeah,
you know
look
what?
at who the team is.
Right. And Do Kwon, his response was absolutely abysmal. I mean, he puts out two proposal plans and a stream of tweets. Imagine like the team like a project goes to zero and the team just leaves a tweet for you. Doesn't answer your questions. Nothing. I mean, if we go to Do Kwon's Twitter, right? Master the stable coins. Yeah, I don't think so anymore. Couldn't even do UST
Yeah.
right a long time
I
ago,
mean,
but
it a little bit of devil's advocate here too. I don't think it was. I highly doubt this was an intentional. You know, this was a misstep. This was just a bad decision. It was somebody maybe who had a little bit too much hubris and not thinking, more professionally that you should when you're dealing with this amount of money, of other people's money. You're responsible for a lot, and when you're at that level, you're operating at that level. There, you have to be. Every decision you make you need to double, triple, quadruple check and make sure that that move is the best move. Like explore every possible avenue, every possible play. If you're not playing 4D chess, then you're not even playing tiddlywinks, let alone checkers. As with other people's money, other people's livelihood. I mean, it's sad, like you said, people ended themselves over this. And that's the worst part about this, man. I mean, that is the most heartbreaking part about this, because it could have been prevented. Somebody could have done a little bit more research, and thought a little bit harder, and it wouldn't have been as bad. Yeah, the response was inappropriate, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I
I
don't
mean,
think it was intentional.
look at all these tweets, right? None of them answered, right? They'll be like, "Oh, stay tuned for more updates." That's the best they got. Imagine you lose your life savings. You're looking for Do Kwon for answers, and he leaves these tweets saying, "Oh, we're gonna vote on a proposal," and then you have a question and you can't even answer it, and then you go to their Telegram and it's all shut down. How are you supposed to get the answers to your questions if both platforms aren't being monitored for questions? How can you get away with not addressing your community, not answering their questions? That's unacceptable. That's
If this was legacy
horrifying.
finance, that'd be illegal. There'd be somebody would be going to jail for that.
Absolutely. And
Somebody would definitely, their feet would be held to the fire.
believe me, South Korea is going after him. He has $78 million
We don't want to be that
unpaid to
guy.
their government, right? Unpaid in taxes. Didn't pay the Terraform Labs didn't pay the taxes. So he's gonna be full of lawsuits for one. He just disappointed his community, disappointed everybody. I mean, how can you trust this man to go into a Genesis blockchain again? How can you do that? How can you not have a change in leadership after this? It just doesn't make any sense.
No, he might as well open up a store, put out a sign, "Welcome to Do Kwon's Rug Emporium. We make the best rugs."
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just more reason to do your research and make sure the people who are behind a project really care and really do the
Yeah,
due diligence to make sure that project isn't going to get hacked or attacked.
yeah.
Right. So, anywho, the proposal was for to release the Genesis blockchain on May 27th. Now, they delayed that until today at I think it was 6 a.m. UTC,
Early morning. Yep.
the early morning, right? I mean, and it's a
And within
great thing.
three
I'm going to show
hours,
you on screen that a lot of the exchanges they did the right thing, right? I'm just on Terra Luna's official Twitter. You can see all of the exchanges that are honoring this Genesis blockchain and airdropping all of the people who've been affected by this Luna crash, right? So
now
you
there are
got
there are some platforms that are just, their behavior is really scumbag, just disgusting behavior after, after what happened. you know and that's the other thing too, the other side of this too, is that some of these platforms, some of these you know I don't know what to call them, because they're I don't know, they're criminal organizations. From the way I see it, they're taking advantage of a lack of regulation. But some of them are, I can I can applaud their efforts and, trying to help out the situation. But at the same time, it's important, this is also important, that you hold your own custody of your own crypto. What do they say? Not your keys, not your crypto. You can't trust these exchanges either. They're implicit on what's going on as well, if not culpable in some of this. Because the fact is, if they had um, been a little bit more diligent, they could have stopped some of this from happening, right? The exchanges themselves actually could have done something as well, and it's not necessarily their uh, obligation, duty, or responsibility, because at the end of the day, you're basically signing everything over to them. I mean, and there's no real serious hardcore regulation that is going to hold them responsible in situations like this and make them do the right thing. And that's what some regulation is for, is if this happens, then this is the performance, this is you know the fiduciary obligations that you need to do. This is why there are certain laws out there that say, like the board of directors, they have a legal obligation to do the things that are going to be best performing for their investors, right? But these exchanges, they don't have that. Um, they don't have that, in the back of their minds. They don't have that, you know, making them do what's best for the investor. At the end of the day, they're going to do what's best for their bottom line. for the people in charge of it, for those at the top. And that's another part of this whole story. These exchanges are are scumbags. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna say that, hardcore scumbags. And some of the people that are running them, that have been running them for a long time, that are getting, a lot of like praise and a lot of attention in the community. These are some truly despicable people. And that's another thing to consider, not just the projects, but where who's assisting them in conducting these affairs. Think about that as well. But you got to hold your own crypto. Be responsible. Stand on your own volition, and know what you're doing with your finances. Because if you don't, you're going to end up in a 2.0. You're not going to be happy. Your friends and your family are going to look at you and be like, "And you wanted me to invest with you with that?" No, don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a good thing that some of these centralized exchanges took action when Luna was minting uncontrollably. I mean, if you see an asset continuing to go down in your exchange, you're going, oh, what's going on, right? I mean, obviously, if it was normal price action, fine, right? If there wasn't any tokenomics involved, then fine, they should just leave it alone. But they saw, like at least Binance, they did the right thing. They saw the Luna minting, and they stopped trading.
Mm-hmm.
Now that sucks for people who wanted to get out on Binance, but the thing is, it protects investors
Right.
who want to buy in at these low prices that are tricked by the low price, not knowing the tokenomics of Luna and not realizing that Luna is minting, right? Because
Right.
that's not the easiest thing to find in the world if you don't know where to look, right? So it's just it's a balance, right? Some centralization's good, some like a lot of it's bad, but at least some exchanges did the right thing, and a lot of exchanges are doing the right thing. I mean, I'm sure in a lot of clauses they could have just said, oh, screw the Luna community, we're not supporting Luna 2.0, we don't like the leaders of Terraform Labs, and we're not doing an airdrop. They could have totally done that, and it's completely in their rights to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. They decided to take care of their customers and to do the right thing in airdrop, right?
Yeah.
I mean, personally, when I bought Luna as a gamble, I bought on a DEX for a reason. Because I didn't want to be blocked by an exchange if I wanted to sell immediately. But the problem is, I don't get that protection from
Mm-hmm.
price as an investor on a DEX. So there's pros and cons to everything, right? And it's nice to see that these exchanges are doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's the trade-off, and that's that's one of the key factors is, are you able to, with 100% conviction, understand what you're doing, the decisions that you're making, and who you're making those decisions with, who you're getting in bed with. Because at the end of the day, like you said, they don't have an obligation to. They don't have they're not held to a regulation or a contract that's going to, force them to look out for your best interest. Because if you look at some of these, who reads the terms and conditions when they sign up on things? Nobody does. Nobody ever does for anything that you do, right? I'm probably one of the rare people that does. Like that. I read the entire thing. That's a thing that I do. And a lot of these exchanges have very recently been rapidly changing their terms and conditions, their end user license agreements. For instance, here's a really scary one. Um, Coinbase, not only do they have a clause in there that says that at any time, if they file bankruptcy, they can confiscate everything that you got. But here's another thing that's even uh, more troubling, is that
Nuts.
you have to agree to waive your right to trial, to sue them. You have to go to basically arbitration that they choose. Now, these are the types of things that, if you knew that's how the setup was, you might not want to go there. You might want to go somewhere else. So carefully. Read carefully.
Oh yeah, they like to sneak things in there like that. I mean, when I heard the news about that, I pulled all my assets off of Coinbase. Right after I read that, I pulled everything out. That's ridiculous. Not your keys,
creepy.
not your crypto. Not your keys, not your crypto. If it's not in your wallet, you don't own it. The exchange owns it. They can use it for collateral. They can hold your crypto. They can lock your crypto. Not your keys, not your crypto. Simple,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anyways, I could go on. I can go on about centralized exchanges forever.
Yeah.
But let's get into the
another.
nitty gritty,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
Right. I mean, I swung Luna. I lost all of it. I tried to make a quick buck. Couldn't do it. Just awful. All right. So now, if you're holding Luna and you're watching this, what do you do now?
What do you do?
What are your
Yeah.
options? Right.
What's the next move?
So if you held Luna Classic, you'll get an airdrop of Luna, whether it was before the attack or after the attack. Now the rates they differ. If you held UST, you get a portion of Luna. You know why? No more UST. Gone. Poof. $1 billion asset. Wiped out the face of the planet. For Luna. And they packed it all together. Just gone. Hey, UST is no more. You will not get an airdrop of UST, but a portion of Luna instead. If you held Luna on a different chain through the wormhole, then you're stuck waiting until the pools get online. And God knows when that's going to happen. Right? So now, let's see how screwed everybody is. But first, our sponsor for today's video.
I like these guys.
We are randomly giving away $50 to a viewer who likes, shares, and subscribes. The Ghost Trader community was extra generous tonight, and they are giving away 5,000 GTR tokens to two lucky winners two lucky winners tonight. 5,000 will be given away at the end of the video, and 5,000 will be given away to someone who likes, shares, and subscribes. This giveaway has been sponsored by Ghost Trader. The team at Ghost Trader makes you money in the traditional markets completely off-chain. Compound your rewards by purchasing an NFT on their upcoming marketplace. To find out more, check out their website, www.gtr.uk. That was www.gtr.uk. All of their links are provided down below in the description. Start earning passive income today. All right, and welcome back, and thanks for listening to our sponsor today. Go check them out, GTR. Earn your passive income. Shout out to the guys.
I like their setup.
Yeah, shout out to the guys invested in GTR in the chat. I see you, I hear you. Yeah, GTR, baby. All right, so how screwed are you if you're still holding Luna? Let me tell you, you're not going to like what I have to say at all. You're not going to like what I have to say.
Are you sitting down?
I hope you're sitting down, because I was flabbergasted at the sheer stupidity of this. Okay? So I'm going to show you what the rates are in just a second. All right. So, Luna airdrop ratio. Now, this is a medium.com article written by a team member at Luna. So this basically outlines the pool allocations, all the tokens, pre-attack, post-attack, UST, Luna, all that kind of stuff. So if you were pre-attack, you get 2 cents on the dollar. You get 2%, not even you get 1.8% of what your holdings were. If you were pre-attack, oh sorry, that's UST. Yeah, you get 2 cents on the dollar, 20%. 2%. Pre-attack Luna, you get 1 for 1. That's not bad. Post-attack, so if you held up the coin, you get 0.02.
0.02. That's all you're getting.
0.02.
0.02.
Oh, and this is the best one yet. If you bought post-attack Luna, you get 0.0000015. Count them. Four
Jeez.
zeros and a one. So if
Quattro
you're watching
zero
today
nano.
and you bought Luna post attack, you're screwed.
You just threw your money
Absolutely
away.
screwed. That's horrible.
You know, playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. I mean, you don't really know the future of this, new project. You don't really, you can't really predict that, you know, out in the future. But at the same time, I mean, what sense does it make to give these kinds of fractions of something that already was, you know, worth fractions in value? It's almost like a slap in the face, in my opinion, the way that that's being dished out. I don't understand what would be so horrible to just go ahead and, you take a snapshot, at a certain time pre-attack, and you say, okay, you'll get one for one, and what we're going to do is, come out, if anything, come out of your own pocket. You got some money over there, come out of your own pocket, you know breathe some life, a little bit of liquidity into this and some interest, and give the like a one for one to those people. I mean, if you got in afterwards, I mean, hey, you're on your own. In my opinion, you're on your own at that point. You already saw it was a losing hand, and you decided to throw your chips in anyway. So I'm not really that, concerned for those. And in fact, I'm one of them. I went in and I got in, I got in, and I got in and I got out. You know,
Yeah, right.
but regardless, those beforehand, they're, I'm not going to say innocent victims, because they still have a responsibility, but I just think they're being treated the worst. It's like a slap in the face. Those numbers are just, they're just absurd. I mean, that's pathetic.
Look, if you bought at 5 zeros and a one on Luna, I don't feel bad for you. You haven't lost nothing, right? Even with this airdrop, you haven't lost nothing. I feel bad for the people who were holding pre-attack, trying to support the Luna chart at its lows, all the way down, right? And the people, most importantly, that were holding UST, expecting it to be worth $1 no matter what happened. And now this is a one this is kind of a one fits all situation, right? One size fits all proposal that doesn't work. In my opinion, it doesn't give the value back to those loyal UST holders, to those loyal Luna holders that were holding and trying to prop up the price post and pre-attack. It just doesn't do it.
Not at all. No, it's lopsided. It makes no sense. I don't understand the reasoning behind it, to be honest with you.
Alrighty. And the top off the shit sandwich. Most of those
Tasty.
tokens are vested. Vested 6 months with a
Yeah,
2 month cliff.
yeah. So it's not. It doesn't even. You're not even getting that payout. You're not even getting that until, so far down the road. There's two sides to that I see. One is, you know, it could be, beneficial for those that, if they got it now, would immediately try to sell out, you know, and that does kind of hurt the project, the value of it, because look at what are people doing as soon as they get these airdrops? They're dumping them. That's what happened. So it kind of prevents that from happening. Also, it can help hedge for those that will get it in the future should the project be a little bit more successful and there be some good value to it. So I can see in that sense where there's a positive side. There's an upside to that, a silver lining to that. However, there's also the very possible potential that the whole thing collapses, that it's worth absolutely nothing. It goes once again to zero, becomes nothing, and any potential that they could have made now by getting it now and at least trying to salvage, something enough to buy a sandwich with or a pack of gum, something, anything. is going to be gone. Who knows? They may never ever get them. I don't know. Nobody knows. If we're going off of history, we see a team that was successful, that had done had made a lot of people a lot of money, but we also see that very same team just just destroy it, just absolutely end it. Just suicide by poor decision. So that's what you're looking at. You got one of those two ways it's going to go. I mean, nobody knows. If I had to put my money on it, I'd say I want it now so I could choose to hold it if I want to. But I think it's just I think it's just it's what do I want, a shit sandwich or a turd burger? I don't know which one sounds more tasty.
Yeah, right. And now Luna holders just have to sit there and take it, right? I mean, I'm sure that there's communities out there that are trying to pursue legal action, and if they are, I would pursue those people. Try to get some sort of settlement money because this isn't it. This really isn't it. So, with the vesting,
Yeah.
let's see how it did, right? You think, okay, maybe it would mitigate some dumps, right? Wrong. Hey, this is where it started this morning. It was at $7, and now
Some
it's
exchanges
down
even had it
to
around
four
20.
dollars. Right. So now all the Luna you got back is worth $4, right? I mean, at the top, I think it was worth what, at least $80. Now it's worth $4 after all this crap, all the vesting. Now we're at $4. Right? It's one disaster after another with Luna. Absolutely. It's just a snowball effect. And I'd be
Yeah.
shocked if this ecosystem can be saved further.
It's in my opinion, it seems like it would have made a lot of sense to have prevented a public purchase, right? To prevent outside people. Like, if you did not have proof that you held before the attack, you can't get in on this, because what happened was people obviously going in and making that quick buck. You can't be mad at that. That's what people do. That's kind of what you're supposed to do, is produce wealth for yourself, generate wealth, and make profit. But it's kind of like you're doing it at the expense of others. You're benefiting off of a unfortunate situation that other people have gone through. And I think that's kind of like, like I didn't even I would not even touch that, just for the simple fact that I feel like that's something that those people need to do. That's for them. They need to get that right, figure that out. I'm just gonna stay back, and even if I could go and put my hand in that cookie jar and get some tasty treats out, that to me it wouldn't be fair. I wouldn't see the moral, ethical um, reasoning behind it. Personally, and I don't understand why they allowed just anybody to go in and do this. And buy in on this. Did they not know that was going to happen? I mean, come on. This, to me, that's implications and signs of what's to come with the project. That's just me. That's just my opinion. That's not financial advice, but financial advice is, you can tell the future by reading the past. So, do some homework.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, imagine just getting your airdrop tokens this morning and then this afternoon reading that Luna 2.0 is here, crashes by 60%. You're like, great, I finally get some compensation for all of the stuff that I lost. Now, great, now it's down 60%, and I'm screwed because most of it is vested. That's nuts. It's just one disaster after another. Oh man, I just hope that we can learn from this and move on. You
Yeah,
know, I just
very much so.
I don't know. If you're still thinking about buying Luna, I wouldn't go for it. Not until they at least have some change in leadership. I mean, if there's a couple
Definitely.
takeaways we could take away from this, I mean, one thing is, first of all, read your white paper, right? Gotta make sure that you know the protocol, you know how it works, see if there's a mint function before you make your first trade, no matter if it's a top 10 coin or a top 200. You gotta put in some sort of research, right? Two, can we trust stablecoins? Do the research on which stablecoin you use. It's important. If it's algorithmic, stay far away from it. This is proof that they don't work.
Right.
Algorithmic stablecoins don't work. And I think the one on Phantom just crashed too. It's not just Luna. It's all other algorithmic
Yeah.
stablecoins as well.
Yep.
Don't do it.
It's
It's not
happening.
worth it. They can't back up what they got. It's all imaginary internet money until it's backed by fiat. Right?
And even
And
then,
and three, know the team. Learn it. Learn who your team is, know who they are, so you can hold them accountable. Like right now. Like Do Kwon is right now.
right.
We gotta make sure as a community that we hold him accountable. We can't let him get away with this, especially if it was a back alley deal that caused this entire crash. We can't let it happen. Can't do it. Can't let him get away with this.
Agreed. Very much. I mean, that's the tic tac toe right there of personal responsibility, and helping to ensure that this asset class that is ours, not legacy financial institutions, but ours, to help to see the success of it, to see it progress and be what it's supposed to be. The intentions of this is to give us our rights back, our property rights back, our financial freedom back, to give us the ability to not have our economic energy siphoned away or spent prematurely, right? Through inflation, deflation, fractional reserve banking. Like, these are all the things we want to get away from. So, those three things, that's going to be key right there. That's those are the cornerstones right there, and you're the fourth side of that. You're the fourth part of that. You are the fourth part of that, right? Not somebody else, not an exchange, right? Not your investing guru, right? Not the leader of your favorite meme coin. You, us, me, Dragon, we are. So the most important factor in this actually is us, the individual. And this is you know, I'm so appreciative of you putting this on today and having this discussion, because I was looking into this, when they were launching it, and then I wasn't really seeing anybody talking seriously about these things. They were talking about, they were more speculating. They were talking about what their position is going to be, how much they're putting in, and how much the profit they're taking, and blah blah blah, same old. And I'm just like, at that point, I'm just like, I'm disgusted by it. At the same time, I'm ashamed that this is how we are, as the community, how we are handling this situation. This is a very serious situation. This is like, a 10 alarm freaking fire here, and we're just standing around at the water cooler having a sip, be like, hey, you see that fire? Yeah, it's pretty hot. I wonder how much money I'm gonna make. Come on, man. We're adults. Supposed to be, trying to be anyway.
All right, exactly. And of course, we appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your thoughts about Luna. And I think this has been informative today. I mean, at Blockchain Trends, we keep it real, right? We don't cherry pick. We don't do all that kind of things. We keep it real. We show you the truth about these projects. And I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat the situation, because seriously, it is messed up. And Do Kwon needs to face repercussions, and the team responsible for
Yep.
that weakness in the protocol.
And any blockchains, here's the thing too. Any swaps, any one of these any one of these companies, we'll just use the word loosely, companies, and not syndicates or organizations of nefarious nature, that allowed investors, that allowed people to purchase after a certain limit. I don't know what that should be. Should it be at the zero mark? I don't know. Maybe that's what we need, a discussion we need to have. They also they also need to be looked at and held responsible for their part in it. Because I can tell you right now, you can look at the numbers, you can go and check it out. If they're still making it available and not trying to shut everything down, they allowed people to get in, to buy in, and then within hours after a certain level, shut off their ability to sell, to get out of that position, to do anything with it. And that hurt a lot of people as well. That was just despicable. So there's a lot of people involved in this, not just Doquan, not just Luna, also us too. But there's a lot of people involved in this that need to be held responsible, that we need to not allow to do this anymore, to take advantage of people and to create this type of an atmosphere where investors are going to get screwed. Like, there's a guarantee you're going to get wrecked if you do this. Why would they allow that to happen? And why are they still allowed to be around? It's because there is not that regulation. It's because us who are supposed to be the safeguards here aren't doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, having these conversations, making people aware, letting them know this is what you need to do before you even, play this game. White paper, right? The team, right? Understanding the tokenomics, how the things operate. Like, these are the basics. These are the basics, people. So, and until something changes, I'm not going to change my tune. I'm not going to, feel sorry about. You can give me ridicule all you want, and call me boom bash, whatever you want to say. But I'm passionate about it because I'm not in here for the money. I'm not. I don't care about the U.S. dollar value of it. And anybody who's ever heard me on chat, in the main pulse chat or anything, they'll know that Hodl Baggins, he don't give a shit about the price value. That's not what I talk about. When that conversation comes up, I'm quiet. I don't have anything to speak on when it comes to that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the implications. I'm talking about where this is going, what this means to us. What this means to us. That's what I'm passionate about. I hope you guys get this fire too and get this passion too. And I hope you listen to people like Dragon, because those out there that could shill something and make a quick profit and don't, I think they're the most valuable members of our community. And I appreciate you, Dragon, for having that type of an integrity.
Oh yeah, thanks, man, and it's a pleasure having you on this show today from the Pulse of Vibes, and of course, everybody you should go check out his YouTube channel down below. He has lots of valuable content to view. Also, check out the Pulse of Vibes. That's a great project for especially for content creators. So go check those projects out. Please do your research. Obviously, I'm not telling you to invest. I'm just bringing them attention because I personally think they're good projects. But it's in GTR too. I mean, I'm invested in those projects, so I'm just disclosing that myself. So just keep that in mind when you make your decision on whether you buy that or not. That I am invested, so I do have a bias. So I'm here stating my bias, letting you guys know to do the research, and I'm sure if you go in their telegrams, they'll tell you all about the project, and then you can make your educated decision there of whether you want to purchase or not. Right? So, with that out of the way, thank you, Captain, for coming on the show today. And without further ado, we're going to go give away 5,000 GTR tokens to who's ever left in chat.
Yeah.
If you're in
I think that's
chat
gonna be
right
worth.
now,
I
text
think it's gonna be
I'm
worth more
here.
than the $50.
Text I'm here in the chat if you're here. So I can put you in on the duck race. Let's see how far the chat is behind.
Oh yeah, I saw some good points being made, some good questions in there. I don't know if you got time still on
Yeah,
the deal.
we can view some.
Wouldn't
Hey
mind going
guys,
through it.
in live chat, text I'm here to be in the duck roll be in the duck races.
Here we go. Here we go. They are here.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's scroll back here. Luna was attacked by outside entities, purposely crashing the peg mechanism. This was an organized attack from people who saw the flaw in the algorithmic based stablecoin. I'm absolutely sure that's true. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
these things can be exploited. Absolutely. Like, I mean, I'm putting on my tinfoil out here, but I mean, if it was an attacker, then what was it? Right? It was an organized something. Something
Right.
had to give for this. So okay, so we got one, one, two, three, four, five, six. I see 12 people watching. If you want to
Fujikura is
be
not here.
entered
He's a bot.
into the competition, you have to say, I'm here, or you won't be able to win. Okay?
Guardian is definitely not here either. This guy.
This guy.
This guy.
Man, should I exclude him from the duck race?
Uh, I
Adam,
don't
I'm
know. I
here.
mean, you gotta give him some credit for some innovative ballsiness there, man. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
I might actually put a bit to like give him two credits now, but that's pretty funny. I like that. You're thinking outside the box there, pal. He's here
Oh
12
yeah.
times.
Some people are trying to
Of
get in
course.
twice. All right, let's see. So one,
Uh,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7 out of 12 watching. If you didn't say I'm here, then you don't get to win GTR tokens.
that means you got a pretty high chance. Seven, so two out of that seven. That, those are good margins,
No,
man.
it's actually
That's
one
pretty
person
damn good.
because the other competition is you have to like, subscribe, and share.
Ah,
Right? We'll get to the rules on that after the duck race, but all right. So we got seven
exclude him.
people. Okay.
Look at the ghost trader in the house. Still has rubber ducky. Don't trust him. Be careful with rubber ducks, man. My friend found one outside of his apartment complex, and almost went and plugged it straight into his computer. I don't know if you guys know what a rubber duck is, but if you find them, don't just go plugging them in, man.
Make sure that was a virus. All right. Yeah, that was definitely a virus. That was definitely a virus. Don't click that. Let's see. All right,
No.
Fuji. I'm gonna say Pap J. Pap J. Uh, Jacqueline.
Mm-hmm. And Fuji and Adam,
Jacqueline.
Guardian.
Joe. Joe. Dave.
Yep. Joe Blogs, Dave Kurt.
Guardian. Oh, I don't know if we should do Guardian. He's a he's a troublemaker.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Lunavirus hit your duck pond. Yeah, right. That's 6
Oh
names. Who are we
man.
missing? Oh, how could I
Let's see.
forget
Okay,
Adam?
so
How could I
oh
forget
yeah,
Adam?
Adam. Got Adam. Adam, Papa, Guardian, Dave, Joe, Jacqueline, Fuji.
All right, guys, that's the last call. If you didn't say I'm here, you're not listening. All right. All right, so we got 5,000 GTR tokens on the line.
Learn how to
What do you
spell.
think we should do?
Yeah,
How
X
much
that
time?
guy.
How much time do you think
Don't
we should
include
do in
him.
the chat? How much time? What do you think? Let's go,
3 months,
chat.
6 months. Let it play out. See how far Luna goes.
All right, you know what? We'll do 1 minute. I haven't heard anything from chat.
1 second.
1 second. Yeah, no. We're not doing 1 second. Come on.
Guardian wants 2 minutes. He wants to.
2 minutes.
He must like anticipation.
7 minutes. Jesus, you want the suspense.
Jacqueline wants 7 minutes. Oh yeah, she must be into suspense.
All right, fine. We'll do 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, we'll piece of people. All right. Here we go. Are y'all ready?
Let her rip.
Oh, man, we got Adam in the lead. Oh, Guardian's pulling ahead.
Oh, look, there they go. There they go. Dave, what's up, man? Pick it up, Dave. Oh, look. Oh, here comes Poppy. Oh. He's Guardian. Oh, look at Guardian making his move.
Oh, man.
Oh. Quick little spurt, but he couldn't hold it. Oh, here we go. Look at Poppy, man. Look at Poppy. He's trying to really pull it
Adam's cheating.
Joe out of nowhere. Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Joe might win by a bill.
Oh, my GTR's weighing me down. Oh my god. Watch Fuji pull ahead. Could you imagine?
Right? Out of nowhere. Oh no, Jacqueline. I want to
like
see Jacqueline make it, man. I want to see Jacqueline make it out of nowhere. Come on, Jacqueline. Come on, Jacqueline.
All right, we got 10 seconds on the clock. 10 seconds on the clock. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
look at her. She's
1. Oh, and Dave wins 5,000 GTR. Man. Let's go.
Man.
All right.
Look at that. How do you feel about yourself?
Oh man. All right, so let me figure out how to DM the chat as blockchain trends. Okay, so DM at Dragoon. Noon 128.
Woo woo. All that training, huh?
Can I pin this? Yeah, I can pin it. Okay. All right, yep. So Dave, to receive your 5,000 GTR, you have to DM me on Telegram. Okay? DM me your name and your wallet address. All right, congratulations, Dave. Alrighty, so if you're still watching, you still have a chance to win another 5,000 GTR. You still have a chance. And a lucky viewer will have a chance to win $50. All thanks to Ghost Trader. Okay? Please go check them out. They're in the link below. They sponsored us today. They're the reason we could do these giveaways for this, our first live video. Go check them out. Check out their website below. Alright? So, you have to prove to me that you subscribed, that you liked this video, and that you shared it somewhere. So I need to see 3 screenshots in a DM from you to have a chance to win $50 or 5,000 GTR tokens.
I'm taking 5,000 GTR, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's gonna be some.
That's
That's
that's a
gonna be
great
worth more
that's
than
a
fifty
great
bucks.
value, man. I think that's right now it's like what is it? It's like almost $80 in Ghost Trader tokens at this price.
Not
So
bad.
it's a good value. Yeah. Yeah.
I can see that going up.
All right, guys. We're going to end the stream. Thank you all for tuning in to our first live AMA and our first guest, Captain Hodl Baggins. Thank you. Give a round of applause for Captain Hodl Baggins for coming on to our channel and giving his insights on Luna. All right. Check out our Luna video in the description below and the Pulse Abides, of course. And I think our next video is going to either be on Pulse Chain or how to vet a project. So make sure you look out for that, and we'll see you next time on Blockchain Trends.